It is 11 p.m. and we find the remaining chefs all in their upstairs lounge talking to each other and just having a good time, finally be able to talk and strategize, except Anne Maria, who is asleep. Sam and Brick are like talking about trying to get farther in this competition, but also about home and what they like to cook at home. Where Dawn and B, Dawn is the only person who really gets B on a personal level. Yeah, everyone's, what's up, B? Good morning, B. He said I'm B, but can you see? I don't know, bro. I don't even know what that means. Calm down. It's 5 a.m. You see this? Why is Wayne texting me at 4:25 a.m.? Hell no, get off my screen. And where they're talking about like personal stuff, these two are talking games. Scott and Courtney, they want to plant themselves in the game to make sure they go far and hopefully one of them can win. And to do this, they know that this game, they can't just get on by alliances and stuff. That's not how Hell's Kitchen works, but sometimes, actually a lot of the times, having people have your back has helped people escape elimination. And so they're kind of thinking to bring two people in that are kind of easy to control and maybe will help farther their game. And Scott obviously rules out Dawn. He does not want Dawn, and therefore he doesn't want B, because he knows that B and Dawn are the closest. Courtney and Scott kind of recognize that Brick is the most likely, besides Dawn, to realize that they're trying to pull a fast one on him, which leaves them with Sam and Anne Maria. So Scott goes and gets Sam, and Courtney goes and gets Anne Maria. Now, she a little cranky because she got woken up, but Courtney's like, listen, this is gonna help you get farther in this game. That's the only reason Anne Maria's coming out of her bed, bro. She even got the eye mask on. And basically, they're like, look, we need this to be the final four. We believe that, with our strengths and, since we're technically kind of antagonists, you guys could be the oxymoron to that. And as long as we all cook good and we have each other's back, we're good for at least 3 eliminations. Let's try not to lose. And Brick kind of searches until he finds these two, and he's like, hey, I think Anne Marie and Sam are talking to Scott and Courtney, and they asked to talk in private. And Dawn's like, yeah, I know. He is always up to something, and he's going to plot. He is trying to get me out. I know it. And Brick, he's like, well, I don't know, because Sam wouldn't, go with them. He's not a bad guy. And B, he kind of looks over at Dawn, and Dawn looks at him, and then she's like, well, B thinks that Sam might be easily influenced, especially if the bribery is power. And Anne Maria, for the most part, she's like, you know what? I like you guys. You bunch are pretty good. B doesn't talk. He gives me the creeps. Dawn also gives me the creeps because she only talks when it comes to reading you. She thinks she better than everyone because she don't do no wrong. And Brick, he a goody two shoes. He's a moralist. So I'll be on y'all side. There you go. Thank you. I'm going back to bed. And then after that, Sam also kind of agrees, even though he is unsure. And so I feel like when they see him out and about, they also try and talk to him, and they're like, Sam, did they talk to you at all? And Sam gets a little bit nervous, and he's like, no. And Dawn can tell he's lying, especially by the stutter and his aura. She doesn't want to pressure him because that might make him turn against them. So she's like, all right, Sam, well, I trust you. You're a good person with good character and judgment. Now, over here, Scarlett and Max are just kind of looking at each other because they both know about the sabotage attempts, and I think they both mutually agree to just be silent and try to get each other out. Max is mad, and he's willing to get revenge, or justice as he would call it. Topher is trying to pull Courtney and Scott moves by talking game, but Leonard and Sugar, as horrible as this image in your head may sound, they're just busy making out. And he's like, so I think the 3 of us could go far, and maybe if we were to target the other competitors, we could really make a go of this season. And literally, as he's trying to talk game to them and trying to get them farther in the game, all he hears is the horrific sentence come from Leonard's mouth. Call my tongue Houdini because I'm about to make it disappear. And Topher's like, all right, bro, I'm out of here. Fuck this, bro. Hell the fuck no. All right, I'm gonna talk to them. Ain't no way. I just heard He is so shook and frightened right now. He's like, I'm coming in here just to be blunt. No one else on our team is taking this serious. So I want to work with y'all because you two are the only people who get along and have a decent bond. And immediately they both look at Topher, and Scarlett says, Topher, in your best interest, get out of here. He's like, God damn, ain't no one wanting to do anything. And then he goes in here. He sees Ella breakdancing with the squirrel, and he immediately turns around like, nope, I'm playing this game solo. Co-op overrated anyway. But on the serious side, when they do get to talking about it, Jasmine and Ella do like teach each other different recipes, because Jasmine needs to know how to make some vegan food or to be able to accommodate if she has to. An Australian flavor could like add a whole different palette to like Ella's playing field, especially if she could integrate that somehow into the vegan dishes. Or vegetarian. I don't even think she's vegetarian. I think she still eat meat. But when she can, she probably does try to be like 99% vegetarian. Eventually, the contestants and chefs finally head to bed to wake up just in time for the challenge that will not only give them a reward, but will also grant them safety. Good morning to all of them. Hopefully they had a good night's sleep. And so today's challenge is a unique but pretty simple one. It is a game of basketball. Each team will select 4 people to play in a game of one-on-one basketball. Whoever can make 3 hoops the first will not only be able to choose their ingredient, but the other team's ingredient, within reason, of course. So 2 boys, 2 girls from each team. It's a little obvious, but Scott and Brick were chosen for the red, along with Dawn and Courtney. For the blue, it is Topher and Leonard, along with Ella and Jasmine. The remaining 6 have decided to sit out. So for the first game, it is gonna be able to have the right to choose the pro team. And it is Scott versus Leonard, and I won't even lie, I think, Leonard might get the first hoop in, but I think Scott might just get 3 in afterwards. That was just, first beginner's luck. Leonard, unfortunately, you did fail. Scott, you have won, which means for his team, he has decided to choose a ribeye steak. He says juicy, flavorful, big cut. And for the blue team, we want to choose tilapia fillet. It's a fish, so to try to overlay the fish against a steak. Dawn versus Ella. I actually think this basketball match would be like fun to watch, because both of them I think are on the equal level. And it starts off friendly, but I think it becomes like a tie of 2-2, and then they kind of get serious. But once again, the red team gets the point. Dawn, you have won. You can choose the vegetable. 2 of them, by the way. And for her team, she chooses heirloom carrot and Brussels sprouts, which is a little bit questionable. She likes the kind of carrots because they're sweet and vibrant. And then for the Brussels sprouts, apparently to her, they're earthy and roast beautifully, whatever that means. And then for the blue team, she'll choose okra and radish. Now that is how you sabotage. I hate okra, so good luck with that. For the third game, it is Brick versus Topher for the right for 2 fruits this time. And I think, it actually does very well. Brick gets the first 2. Topher then gets the next 2. It was once again a tie, but Topher does some corniness. He's like, hey, Brick, what's that? Brick looks over there. He pants Brick, gets the ball, hoops it in. Topher wins. For his team, he chooses pineapple and blood orange, which were very S tier picks. And for the red team, he chooses green apple and blackberries. All right, I mean, it's decent. Courtney, Jasmine. Jasmine, I won't lie, I definitely think you're gonna win. And you can choose any 2 ingredients. This is the first and only one where it's 3-0. Jasmine balled on Courtney, bro. For her team, she chooses goat cheese and brioche bread. And then for the red team, she chooses plain white bread and cottage cheese. All right, now they all have to work with the ingredients they were given. Go. For the ribeye, I feel like Scott and B are gonna be in charge for like the meat station. For the vegetables, it's gonna be Dawn and Sam. Courtney probably told Sam to pair up with Dawn. Fruits only need 1 person. I think that'll be Courtney, which means the cottage cheese, the white bread, basically the garnish will be handled by them, and they'll also help the others. For the blue kitchen, tilapia is being handled by Topher and Max. He does not want to be paired up with Scarlett again. He knows that's disaster waiting to happen. The vegetables are Ella and Jasmine. The fruits and such will simply go to Scarlett, which means Sugar and Leonard. Oh, brother. Good luck with that one. And I won't even lie. I feel like the entire time as they cook, Dawn is kind of staring into Scott's soul. And so he's like, B, I need to go do something. He goes to Courtney. He's like, hey, I can't tell you why, but I need you to distract Dawn. Also, I should mention, Brick, I saw you drop that tray full of fruit. Had to throw it away. That was horrible. Don't do it again. Now, Scott is not the only one plotting something. Both Max and Scarlet want to stay away from each other, but they can't help but make their own scheme in their head. And for the most part, the blue team actually cooks in rhythm and unison until Max quote-unquote uses the bathroom to see if Scarlet would do anything, and to his surprise slash not a surprise, she does go over to mess his stuff up, in which he then plots on Scarlet. Jasmine sauteing the vegetables, frying them up or whatever, she sees Max screwing up Scarlet's stuff and Scarlet screwing up Max stuff, and she's like, what are you guys doing? And they both kind of look at each other like they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and Jasmine's like, hell no, everyone stop, look at this. And just like that, you know, people are looking, and she's like, nah, Scarlet just turned up Max's heat so his fish would burn, and Max was poking holes in all the fruit so they would go bad and lose like juice or flavor. And as she says that, not only does the vegetables she was like cooking catch on fire, but so does Sugar and Leonard, one of the things they were working on, you know, trying to get a crust on it, that also catches on fire. So now they have to do a whole thing. Their stuff is burnt, it's done. Their stuff is burnt, it's done. I can't even believe what I'm seeing. These two just got caught sabotaging.